On our guide list, which is MUZEN, Gah! We're going to be rocking him in the mid lane because that is where I believe AMC is the best. It also has some nice interactivity with his hives, which we'll discuss a little bit later. Gonna get our swarm here at the start of the game. It's our lane clear. It goes through walls, so we can very conveniently use it to clear the speed buff and to get away quite quickly. We're going to be starting off with tier 2 Transcendence, 3 health pots, 3 multi-pots. Pretty standard build start for hunters when you're running them in the mid lane. You don't necessarily need the ultra early game lifesteal when you're running hunters mid, which is why you can go with the Transcendence, help you with your mana, as well as getting yourself a big fat power spike.
Okay. Cancel that. Completed.
We're gonna wait for this. Hunbat has super good clear, so I shouldn't even have to auto attack this. Hunbat 3 is one of the best clears in the game, so I should be able to throw my 2 on that and get credit for it. If he didn't get his 3, I might not, but there you go. Got credit for it. Head right over to the mid lane. Scylla also has really good clear with her crush because she can do the same thing over the wall. So with AMC here, you've got actually very good push as far as hunters go. Not going to be able to out-clear Scylla because Scylla's got really, really good mid-clear right now. We're going to get our bees second to help with our clear. Those two abilities together. Use your bees first, then go ahead, use your swarm. You'll get the bleed on them from your honey, not to mention your passive on AMC is also a bleed, so you're getting a nice double bleed action. Dodgy's putting herself in kind of a weird spot, but I'm going to focus on clearing the wave early. I don't recommend fighting into the creeps in the mid lane. If you don't have to, early game archers wreck you. We're going to be leveling our swarm to max first, but we are going to get 1 point in all of our abilities. This is one of the main reasons why I like AMC in the mid lane. As you can see, you can throw these hives over walls so that you get the benefits from the hive. I can throw down honey. I can do all sorts of stuff. And in order for them to deal with my hives and to get them off the map, they have to run around the corner every single time to go clear these hives, which is super, super annoying to have on your checklist in the mid lane on top of everything else that you're trying to do. And obviously, having your hives up gives you really, really good attack speed. Actually, 10 to 50%. It also gives you bonus movement speed and, of course, HP 5. Very good ability just to be constantly sitting in the mid lane. If you get the totem going, plus you've got a hive, you've got HP 5, you've got MP 5, you've got basically all you could possibly want. At the start of the game here, I did go Purification Beat as my first active. This is because I am against a Dodgy. It actually has nothing to do with the Scylla. I like beads into Scylla, and eventually I'm going to have to get beads Aegis no matter what. Some people prefer to have the Aegis first against gods with giant ultimates like Ra, Poseidon, Scylla. I genuinely recommend beads first, even against those gods. But in this game in particular, we're against a Athena and a Dodgy. And you can't use Aegis if you're getting, taunted right out your brains and CC'd. So you might as well go ahead and get the beads, so that way you at least have a chance to get away from some of those abilities. AMC Ultimate is an extremely aggressive ability. 1, it does a lot of damage early, but 2, it also resets as long as you hit it. Make sure you pick up your stinger after you use AMC Ultimate. It will reduce the cooldown of your ulti. You can see it's already back up almost. I do believe it's 80% reduction in cooldown when you retrieve it. It is. So make sure that you always try to pick up that stinger after you use it. If you whiff your stinger, you will not have the opportunity to pick it up. That is only if you land on your target. The target doesn't have to die for you to pick up the stinger. If you hit them with it, they will be crippled for 3 seconds, and then after that 3-second marker, the stinger will pop out of them, and you can go pick it up. I like to put 1 hive in the base as AMC. Sometimes you put out so many hives that that'll go away, but when you're running out of the base, there's no reason not to throw down a hive. Give yourself a little extra movement speed. Reminder, like we mentioned earlier, you can use your 2 through walls. So I can sit here, throw my 2 through the wall, get credit for that speed buff without even having to stay around and deal with it too often. So, another reason why I like AMC in the mid lane, besides the fact that he has this hilarious hive interaction because of all these walls. In general, I like to play characters that don't have real escape skills. In the middle lane, it's the shortest lane. You can stay closest to your tower, which means you have the most opportunity to just kind of run around and farm. And safety is always good for that. As far as your combos on AMC, step 1, you basically only want to fight in a hive. Keep your hives out as much as humanly possible. It's okay if your hives overlap. That's not a big deal. Your hives do also give a vision. They give a very small vision radius, but they do give vision. You can see, I can see the Dodgy right there as she went for that. So make sure you are utilizing your hives for their vision properties and not just for the buff that it gives you. A really, really high level strat that you won't see super often, but it is something to keep in mind, is they also body block an auto. They will take 1 auto. So theoretically, if you're fighting like another hunter and you're about to die to their last auto attack and they're about to die, you can throw down the hive right in front of you, have it body block their auto, and then hit them with the last auto for the kill. Not a situation you'll find yourself in all the time, but it is a way in which you can utilize AMC hives. So we use our ultimate on Athena, and then Athena ran into the tower, so we couldn't go collect our hive. Our stinger. So I will have the full length ultimate duration there. Don't die to pick up your hive. I'm gonna be careful about what I said earlier, where I kind of said always try to pick up your stinger. Do try to pick up your stinger as much as humanly possible. It might be worth to take a little bit of damage to pick up your stinger. That is fine. It's never worth risking your life to pick up your stinger. So that's kind of where you're drawing the line. A little bit of damage, sure. Dying for my stinger, don't do that. For AMC builds in the mid lane, we are looking most at high power. AMC has very good scaling on his abilities. He is also getting a small buff to his scaling. On his Swarm will be upcoming right now. I believe it's 70% scaling on Swarm. That will become 80% scaling. So he will have even a little bit more damage leaning into those heavy power builds. This is before June 16th, so this doesn't have the extra 10% scaling yet, but you still build him in that same manner. That is why I went the Warrior Tabi boots instead of attack speed boots. Gonna give me extra damage on my ulti, on my Swarm. Also, you don't need that much attack speed on AMC because your 1 does give you 50% attack speed. That means it's very, very easy to overcap on attack speed because of how much it gives you. This is probably going to be something that's maybe not the way you've seen AMC leveled. I prefer to level the hives second and to level the bees last. I do Swarm max. I get my ulti whenever I can. And then I get hives third, and I get honey last. Honey's got good damage on it, but because of the type of build that I like to go that I just explained, a very heavy power build, I like to lean into the hives and utilize the hives as my attack speed for most of the early portions of the game. You can level honey first for the extra burst damage and then do hives. That is fine. But when you're playing a god with no escape as a streamer, the movement speed is also wonderful to get away from all the inevitable ganks that will be coming your way, says the man currently in the process of getting ganked. All right, let's do it, Scylla. There we go. I knew he was going to dash to that, so I put down my honey preemptively. I might be dead here. I used the high bonus movement speed to get out of that. I'm going to die down to that Scylla. She unfortunately rotated back in. Umoja almost got the save on me right there. The bonus movement speed from the hive did almost keep me alive during that fight. We're going to get our Aegis online. Move ourselves into an Aussie. I pretty much get Aussie third on every hunter. Even if I go Devo Gloves as my first item instead of Transcendence. Let's say we were playing AMC in the duo lane. There's a great shot that you got Devo Gloves instead. I love Devo Gloves from the duo lane. Even with that, I personally think Aussie is one of the best items in the game. It also works really well into my aggressive playstyle. I get low HP a lot, which means I'm proccing Aussie a lot, so I'm getting a lot of efficiency out of that item. For AMC in our fight, our playstyle, we're looking to engage in every 1v1 that we can. You need to have confidence to play AMC. When you're thinking about playing AMC, think about how you see Woojer players play the game. That's kind of what you're trying to channel. The confidence of an Woojer player where they're really, really trying to land those axes. They're diving in. They're looking for fights. They're not afraid of taking on those 1v1s. That is the type of play style that you want to adopt. Wow, what a really good Umoja 3. I don't even know if that was on purpose or not, but that was super good. Scylla's over on this side. Oh no, I'm gonna die to the dodgy here. Unfortunately, our jungler is not with us very often right now, and the Scylla barely lived through that. We can afford to get our Aussie. We got the tier 1 tower. So you're looking to fight as much as you can in the 1v1, whether you're in the mid or the duo lane. You want to be looking for fights. Your damage potential in the 1v1 combined with the fact that your ultimate has a cripple on it. It is that 3-second cripple. Means that the enemy that you're fighting basically can't get away from you unless they get assistance from the team, which is wonderful. As far as team fights go, it's a little bit different. You've got to be a little bit more careful in the team fights. You are, of course, a hunter, so you're going to be in that back line. Walls aren't super detrimental to you. You can use hives over walls for vision. You can use your 2 and your 3 over walls. The only ability that won't go through the wall is your ultimate. So walls aren't particularly scary for you to be behind. Also, don't be afraid as AMC to dump your kit into their front line. If you're getting dove by their solo laner or their support, there's a lot of characters that you don't necessarily want to use your abilities on. You just want to kind of wait until you can use them on somebody squishier. On AMC, that is not the case. Your abilities are going to be very low cooldown. You'll get your Singer right back up. Feel free to just blow your kit into whatever is right in front of you, because it'll almost guaranteed be up by the time that you need it again. So don't be afraid to use those abilities. Now, if you're consistently missing your ultimate, that's obviously just a mechanical issue that you need to continue to work on. As with any god, if you miss all their abilities, you know, they're not going to seem super good. Oh. So I'm going to use my ulti on this Athena, which is going to put the cripple on her. See? Easy peasy, little kill right there. AMC does a lot of damage even to tanks, particularly at this stage of the game. Remember that your honey, while it does do good damage and it's going to bleed out the dodgy right there, it's also a slow. So make sure you are utilizing your honey for its slowing properties. It is 20% on the slow. You do not have to proc the damage on honey in order to get the slow. I should mention, I don't recall if I did earlier, your third ability does not do the damage unless you put the bees on it. So if I use my honey outside of the range of a hive, it's just going to be regular old honey and it's going to slow. You have to be either in range of one of your hives or use an ability like Swarm on top of your honey, and it will proc your passive bees, which procs the damage per tick on the honey. You've got to put bees on your honey in order to get that damage. You see the role play right there? You see the role play right there. Bees, honey, they think of everything here in Smite. Another fun, unique thing about AMC to keep in mind as I run over to this Raw and try to slow him and get some bees on him. That's a good little Raw beats force right there. That's fine. AMC is unique in Smite in that he is one of a very few, I can't actually think of any other on the top of my head other than like Apollo who does both. He's actually a lefty. Raw ultimate down, Athena thon down, I'm running. He actually auto attacks using his left hand. So you'll find that your auto attacks might feel a little bit off with AMC. That's okay. That is very normal. It is not just you. He does shoot out of his left hand. So the way that you have to fire his auto attacks is slightly different. They genuinely come out a little bit to the left-hand side compared to the right-hand side. Like other gods, it's not like a purely aesthetic thing. There is a slight gameplay implication to that. This Daji is literally crazy for dashing into an AMC like that with no ulti up. Wherever you're running, like we said earlier, make sure you are putting down those hives. You would rather have 2 hives stacked right on top of each other than no hive at all in your range, especially once you get it to this point of the game where it is all the way stacked up. This is a little crazy. I had to use my Aegis right there. Go ahead and waddle away. This Athena's got some nice CDR. Yeah, he's got a breastplate of Valor. I'm going to run into the jungle, use my hive to make sure I get that bonus movement speed in order to get away. Now I've got 3k gold. I'm pretty concerned at this point about the Athena diving me in the back line, so I'm going to get myself an Executioner in order to deal with that. And I'm going to start working on a Brawler's Beat Stick this game. They've got a Ra who's got a lot of healing in his kit. Not only that, they have got themselves a Heim who's got that life seal, as well as Daji, Scylla, who will have the potential of building some life steal later on if they want to. Particularly the Daji might end up with a Blood Forge. So I don't mind getting a Brawlers in order to proc the anti-heal. AMC is very good at procking anti-healing because of Honey. Honey's easy, long-range ability, just like that. Boom. That puts the Brawlers on them. It'll be on them for the full duration. Actually, it'll keep reiterating itself while the bleed is on them. So you'll actually get an even longer than usual bleed on your target using it, using the Brawlers in that manner. So that's even extra nice. Trying to not get caught out by this Scylla, who might still be waiting around here. I don't see him. This is actually a pretty risky position from me. I wanted to get around the back onto the Daji, and it didn't really work out the way that I wanted it to. There's Athena ult down. We should be running away. Aphrodite plus AMC is going to make me real speedy. Did she already run all the way back? My goodness. My goodness gracious. Okay, they're just going to run on down this. Don't mind me, Athena. Okay, she is 100% minding. Gonna use my ultimate just to peel for myself a little bit here. This is one of those opportunities where I'm not gonna go pick up the stinger. There's no reason to. I go pick up that stinger, I definitely die instantly. Now, Athena wants to taunt me really bad. I can try to bait this out. Looks like they're going for our speed, which means somebody's probably here. It's the Daji. Hi, Athena. Scylla missed everything off of that. She's going to dash over the wall. We can keep chasing. I'm going to use my hives to give me some bonus movement speed as I head down this left-hand side. Ra use ulti. Scylla use ulti. There's a Heim that's still wanting to play. I'm going to put my hive slightly back outside of the fire giant rain. That way, if they come in and contest this, they don't kill my hive immediately, and I can use it to run away because most of it is on that back side. I could use the majority of it to run away if I needed to. But now, we're not going to run away. I'm going to try to cut off one of the exit points for Daji. Just throwing down my honey to make sure he doesn't want to head that way.
Okay.
Ultimate is almost back up from earlier. Daji, honestly, is probably going to try to go die to the towers in order to get away from us. And it looks like she's going to do that successfully. So I'm not going to waste any time chasing her. I'm going to go back into my jungle looking for some more farm. We can almost get our brawlers online. I'm about to get Scylla'd so hard. Yep. I got the cripple onto Scylla in the back line. A good way to use AMC ult if you're not super confident is to wait until somebody is either in CC or standing still. So for example, if I had this Athena on my team, waiting to use my ultimate until Athena taunts is totally fine. You can treat it like a big mage ultimate. Another great way to use it, if you saw, is I basically waited for Scylla to stand still as she was like canceling her ulti animation after it. So throw out an ulti like that when some of the gods are in their animations is a great way to try and hit that stinger more often. Not being able to hit stinger consistently on AMC is pretty much the equivalent of not hitting Scythe on Thanatos, which is to say they're really not a god anymore if you don't consistently, like, it kind of makes their kit. If you look at AMC ulti right now, it's easily hitting for over 700. And that's just so much burst damage. Also, make sure that you're auto attack canceling on AMC. There's nothing complicated with AMC in terms of auto attack canceling, but make sure you're throwing down the ability, holding down your left click as soon as you do it. Throw down your ability, hold down your left click. There's no point to wait through all of those auto attack animations. He does have a lot of abilities. You can do it with your ulti as well. You can auto ulti auto in order to get a slightly more efficient auto attack timer going on those. Pretty much every god in Smite, you can use them like that. I might have just cost myself my life by missing that AMC ult right there. I'm still getting chased by Athena. Okay, I'm getting a blink Heim ultied after getting chased by the Athena, after the Scylla ult, after the Daji ult. We didn't really utilize our fire giant that well. Unfortunately, our Freya is split pushing. This will help you on AMC, but I don't standardly recommend split pushing on Freya. Not known for her immense tower pushing abilities. Definitely recommend using her in the team fight. All right, now that we've got that all done and handled, we've got a bunch of pen. We've got 30 flat pen, from Aussie and Brawlers. We've got great percent pen with Executioners. So Athena will melt to us like butter. Because we're not going a crit build this game on AMC, we're going more of a power build. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a Kins. You don't have to get the Kins on the AMC. This build is mostly about power, but because we ended up going into a little bit more flat pen, we're going to get the Kins to really make sure we have that damage. We've got the percent pen, the flat pen. We're going to do so much damage to basically anybody on this team. Nobody's going to be able to live through our combo. I'm going to use my Aegis right there. I was going to get hit by the Scylla ulti anyway. I probably didn't need to Aegis it if I was going to run away, but I figured if I was going to have to use my Aegis, if I throw down the Aegis, then I run in, I can pick up my Stinger. That might be worth it for the chance at another kill. Doesn't look like maybe we're going to get it, but it was worth the opportunity. Might even lead to a dodgy here at the purple buff. Let's see if she stayed over here. She might have actually gotten greedy and gone for her own purple. Oh my goodness, it actually wasn't the dodgy that got greedy. It was the flippin' Raw. It was the Raw, but I'm not going to be able to get in range. That's okay. Go get set up for the Fire Giant here at the 25-minute marker. You are very good at burning objectives on AMC. All hunters, very strong at killing the objectives. But AMC's burst damage makes him one of the better hunters for securing objectives. Don't be afraid, especially if you're playing AMC in the mid lane like we are in this game. There's no reason to be afraid to use your ultimate as a objective secure. Is it as good as a, a Scylla ulti? No. But AMC Stinger is a much better secure, and people rarely use it as a securing ability, which is just missing out on one of the utilizations there of AMC ult. I didn't use my... Woo! Okay! I didn't use my beads right there because I trusted in my Aphrodite to get me out of that dodgy ulti because I figured she was going to get hit by it too. I'm going to use this to bring me over. Waiting for my Aussie proc. Ah, I didn't quite proc. That's unfortunate. Sometimes it's worth to start auto-attacking so you get your Aussie proc. Unfortunately, that time I was slightly above the HP that I needed. But you can heal right back up with just your Aussie. I'm going to go get myself a tier 2 tower while we're waiting for the next fight. Quickly back up and get set up for the next Fire Giant attempt. I can get my Kins completely done. At the very end of this game, we will be selling our boots and looking for a very situational item. It could be something with big, fat, flat power, like a Heart Seeker or a Blood Forge. It could be something very attack speed, team fight oriented, like an Odysseus bow is great as a 6 item. You can see that with my hive though, I've got 2.41 attack speed, meaning that I'm basically capped. So if I go something very attack speed oriented, I'm already gonna be over capping. So we'll probably stick away from the OVO this game. In a game where maybe you don't go as much. Oh, I actually bled out to that. I don't know why my team didn't go to the Fire Giant. They're just gonna do it. Oh, luckily they did not go complete that. I maybe could have Aegis right there in order to live through the dodgy bleed damage. I'm not sure how long those bleeds were on me for, but there is some potential. That is a tanky Raw, or that Freya is doing no damage. One of the two. There we go. That's a good fight for us. Before you get your 6th item, make sure you rank up those actives. I very, very rarely rank up Aegis or Beat earlier than finishing my first round of 6 items. The exception to that rule is if you're playing, obviously, something like a support where you're ranking up your Heavenly Agility for your team, your Shell for your team. But on AMC, you're pretty much getting beads Aegis every game. I can't think of another active that you would ever bother buying besides, you know, Blink for some fun Blink AMC ults. Gonna go ahead and defend my right lane. But you should really just be getting beads and Aegis every single game. You are going to do plenty of damage. You've got plenty of movement, all that good stuff. And beads and Aegis are forever going to be OP. It's really more of a matter of the order that you get beads, Aegis in. If they've got a high CC team, you're always going to get beads. That's probably 90+% of the time. There's just a lot of CC and Smite. If you happen to be in that 10% situation where you're going against a team that doesn't actually have that much CC, you can get the Aegis first to try to live through some of that potential burst damage. Great Mantle of Discord proc there from the old Hunbat. How convenient for me. Make sure I stick in the range of my hive. That little light indicator on the floor is your total hive range, just so you know that you're within that range. When you're playing AMC around the Phoenixes, your job for the most part is not to get player damage off. Nothing wrong with using some of your abilities for poke from a nice range. That is fine. But your top priority above all else is to get damage onto the Phoenixes. You have to be very careful with your positioning in order to do so. But once you commit to a Phoenix, make sure you fully commit. That Freya ulti was a perfect example of waiting to use my ulti. I didn't want to accidentally miss it during that fight, so I was waiting for somebody to use a CC. I was actually waiting for Hunbat's ulti, is what I had in mind, but the Freya whoop is a perfect setup to just go ahead and use your ulti right after so you don't miss it. This is a really bad situation now for us. We did not get around that Phoenix in time. Everybody's gonna die, and I'm gonna waddle away. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Till the very next day. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. Right there, we had the opportunity to path aggressively through that middle Phoenix to the left-hand side Phoenix. Unfortunately, the team got a little bit scared about pathing aggressively. Because they got scared, they delayed their pathing, which then made the aggressive pathing no longer a good choice for them. They're going to shove up and probably just get that mid Phoenix for free. I just want to make sure they don't get two Phoenixes / end the game. I'm actually going to buy a red pot right here. Try to help on this Phoenix line. My target is the Dodgy, if at all possible. Aegis, try to live through as much as I can. Dodgy my dive list. This isn't a horrible trade. 2 for 1. We get the Athena. We get the Dodgy. We've got 1 for 1 on the Phoenixes. All right. Now that we're waiting for this, we can go ahead, sell our boots, get ourselves a nice elixir of speed. That might be a good little hive kill opportunity right here, too. Freya and them are coming back. I think I've decided that I'm getting a lot of kills this game. I'm putting out a lot of damage. You can see top kills, top gold, top damage. I'm going to go for the Bloodforge. The Bloodforge is going to give me a lot of flat power, a little bit of extra lifesteal, which isn't that big of a deal right now because they've got anti-heal online. They've got the Brawlers and the Divines. Anti-heal, of course, does affect lifesteal. But I'm going to get that Bloodforge for the power and the shield effect. I have felt like I'm getting basically a kill in every single fight because I'm getting kills so frequently. I'll be popping that passive and getting the shield, helping keep me alive. Gonna go ahead and get another red pot because I've already got a sentry ward. Gonna head my butt over to that Gold Fury. Just go solo that objective while we are waiting for the Fire Giant to spawn. Feel free to walk over and solo objectives as any time as AMC. Between the HP 5 on your 1 and the extra attack speed, you should have no problems doing objectives 1v1. Obviously, watch out for the ganks. Make sure you've got your ward coverage up, all that good stuff. But you shouldn't be in any position where you can't 1v1 the objective outside. of the fire giant, of course. If you can 1v1 the fire giant, boy golly, have you snowballed. Congratulations, you don't need my help to play AMC. You must have it all figured out. Gonna wait for somebody else to start this. Once again, we are gonna throw down this hive over here on the backside. So that way, if I need to run away, I can. We actually should get off of this fire giant and look for the fight. Remember that you can use your hives as vision. So putting a deep hive for vision is a great idea. Gosh darn it. That Dodgy jumped right off of her ulti and then jumped right to me right after. I was trying to play so far back to be away from the Dodgy. But unfortunately, she just full committed to coming right on at me. Get ourselves another sentry ward. We hopped off the fire giant. We're having a pretty good fight. They're putting a lot into me, which is something that you should expect on AMC. Being a character with no escape that outputs so much damage, you're pretty much Zeus in that regard. You should expect to have the team full committing to you in order to put you down, get that damage off the board. That's gonna suck if we lose this Phoenix, and we did. That is a bummer. Well, let's kill Dodgy and go attack the fire giant. Yeah, we should just go back and do it. Gotta make sure that we get something off of this. Luckily, our creeps have pushed all the way up through mid. I'm gonna run straight back over to it. Our minions are doing a great job in mid and right because we got that Oni Fury earlier. That's gonna give us a bunch of pressure in right lane that the Raw should have to go deal with. If he didn't, they're actually in threat of losing that. Nope, he's over there. So this is a free upgraded fire giant. At the 30-minute marker, the fire becomes the enhanced fire giant and gives you a much larger buff. It also becomes a big, thick, tanky lad. Not going to use my stinger for secure because the only person that could be there in time was going to be the Raw. And we saw the Raw on the map over in the duo lane. So no reason to waste my ultimate in that situation. Once again, pushing up into the Phoenix range. My goal on AMC is to prioritize the Phoenixes whenever I can. Try not to put myself out of position and be as safe as I can while smashing on some Phoenixes. Ooh, that dodge all over the wall was very good. Unfortunately, I can't use my ulti to follow up on that whoop. We got to be careful. We can actually sustain up a lot with our fires, and they used everything. If we're just a little careful here, yep, use the emoji to heal up. Let's quickly get rid of all these creeps. Going on to the Phoenix. I will burn this Phoenix extremely fast with this build. Throwing down an aggressive hive now. We've already got some good defensive hives out. Unfortunately, high multi was up all that. I'm spamming my Aegis as fast as humanly possible when I come down from this. There we go. Try to run, try to run, try to run, run, run. Try to run, try to run, 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 run. Do, 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 do. Get that slow off. I'm going to use Athena as my personal healing boy right now. He is just getting wrecked. Give myself a nice hive so I can get the damage off with the honey. Clear this mid wave. Try to get these fire creeps up here. Put out another aggressive hive on this side. This Raw is not quite as cool as he thinks he is. We should be able to burn this Phoenix really quick. We got to watch out for the Athena, though. Okay. Just trying to get my auto attacks on the Phoenix. Athena getting absolutely shruckled again. You can see her standing in front of the Phoenix, trying to defend it. We got all three Phoenixes down. Now at this point, I just want to get some couple of creeps in this room so I don't have to tank it. My stinger is still up. I'm going to use it on the Titan, actually, just to get some burst damage off right there. Focusing everything into the Titan. And that, guys, is how you play AMC from the mid lane. A lot of power. Utilize your hives as wards and movement speed. And don't forget that it's okay to wait on using your ultimate if you're not comfortable landing it by yourself. There's nothing wrong with waiting for some CC in order to get you set up. No different than playing a mage in that hypothetical. What's our total damage here at the end? How did we do? 42,000 damage, 11,000 structure damage. That's AMC, and he ain't even buffed yet. He's getting that 10% scaling buff on June 16th. AMC guide complete.